Hello, and welcome to our Friday webinar. We are on with Dr. Stephanie Lamb. Welcome, Dr. Lamb.
Hello.
Hey. So today we're going to talk about the time that we actually got to meet face to face in person, because we met virtually for so long. It was such a great chance to just a great opportunity here. And that's what we're talking about AFA. AFA is what we're talking about today, the American Federation of Aviculture Conference. So so much going on there. And let's see, well, you do have, I hope that you do show us what the cute little item that you got gifted to you recently, because that kind of ties into the AFA a little bit about chickens and stuff. So hopefully that comes up.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
I'll leave it off for the end of the
Okay. I won't give it away anymore, but it's adorable. Okay. All right. So do we have a PowerPoint today? I can't. Okay, we do.
Yeah, we have a PowerPoint today. It's, all the pictures that I had taken, and I took several of the pictures that you had sent me as well to make our nice PowerPoint for our fun adventure over at the AFA conference in Costa Mesa last month. Was it last month? Yeah, the beginning of September, right?
Wow. Yeah, it was like almost exactly a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, we got to meet we got to meet a lot of some of our people that join us on these webinars. So shout outs.
Yeah. It was really nice to get to meet some of all of you guys who are out there watching the webinars and a part of our community. It was great to put a face to some of the little names on the chat that we'll see. So kind of fun to get to do that. But let me share my screen and I can start sharing with you guys all the fun adventure that we had.
All right. All right. I do want to preface this though. It was one of the hottest days in Costa Mesa, California when this thing, it was really hot for us over here. I mean, it was scorching hot. So good thing we're inside for air
I felt pretty comfortable. I'm from Arizona, so it felt really nice to me. I didn't notice it was hot at all. I thought it was great.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, it was hot though.
But right. So if anybody just logged on, we are talking today about attending the 50th American Federation of Aviculture conference that just happened last month in Costa Mesa. We got to visit with a lot of you guys, and several of us got to meet for the first time. So, but first off, before we go into all the fun things that were happening at the conference and why it's something that I think, bird lovers should be interested in and maybe go see for themselves, is to answer the question, what is the American Federation of Aviculture? Because I'm not sure that everybody knows what the American Federation of Aviculture is. And I have to say, having gone this last month, I learned more about it than what I knew before. I knew a little bit about the American Federation of Aviculture, but as a veterinarian, my focus tends to be on going to veterinary conferences. I spend a lot of my time doing veterinary medicine, and then I have to go to veterinary conferences in order to gain new knowledge, new information, new skills. As veterinarians, we have to also to maintain our license, we have to do a certain amount of continuing education every year, and so I have to go to these conferences to maintain my license. But then also, as a board certified avian vet, I have to do a lot of continuing education over a period of time to show that I am still staying up and current and new with everything that's going on in the avian world. So all of my focus tends to be more on veterinary conferences. I don't get to go to a lot of the other conferences, so this was a real fun one to get to go and be a part of. But what the American Federation of Aviculture is it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and their sort of goal and the thing that they are focused on is they're dedicated to keeping birds in people's lives. And that really can mean a lot of different things, and probably means something different for different people. But what they do with the American Federation of Aviculture is they fund small grants for avian research, and that can be on a variety of different things. In my mind, I always think of like veterinary research, but there's so much more about, just the normal biology of birds and behaviors and things, what they're doing out in the wild, that can be researched, that the American Federation of Aviculture does provide some grants for. They're also involved with conservation of species in the wild. They will provide disaster relief for bird owners in the United States if there is some natural disaster that has occurred. They help fund educational programs, and they also have an annual educational conference, and that's what we went to. So if you look at their website, they talk about some of their activities. Again, that educational conference, they have educational courses as well. If you go to their website, again, the disaster relief aid that they will provide to owners or breeders when there has been some sort of natural disaster. They also do bird bans, and there's a bird ban registry to register ownership of birds, which that was a new thing to me. I didn't realize that there was a registry for our parrots. I always knew about the registry for pigeons, because people who breed pigeons will often ban them, and there is a central registry that, like, say you find a pigeon that has a band, you can look at that band and you can actually find out who the owner was, where this bird came from, and potentially get that bird back to an owner. And I guess the American Federation of Aviculture actually has a very similar thing going on for birds like Maureen here, if we wanted to put a band on her. I just didn't realize that was a thing, so that was news to me. They also support conservation and research activities, as previously mentioned. People can become members of the American Federation of Aviculture. So if any of our listeners look into this and want to know more about it and want to get involved themselves, you can actually become a member. And the benefits of that is there's a journal that they produce called The Watchbird. And I'll show you some pictures of the journal because I took a few photos of their journal, but that's a member benefit that you get. You also can get 10% discounts on bird feed and supplies from commercial members. They have a member-to-member program that allows for you to get some of those benefits. It also allows for networking between bird clubs and bird keeping businesses, which is kind of nice because us bird people out there, we're kind of a small community. And so it's nice to get to meet people in other states and places that are like-minded and have similar interests. Also get updates on conservation news and legislative alerts. So if there's avian legislature out there that's being voted on, you can find out more about it through the American Federation of Aviculture. And this was a nice little booklet that they gave us when we got there. I had it over here, but I must have misplaced it. But you can see the picture of it here. Okay, so I'm going to walk you guys through the showroom where we were so that you can see all the neat stuff that was out. When you go to conferences, if you've never been to a conference before, usually conferences will have a vendor room where different vendors will put up their booths and have things to showcase, things to sell. And so this first one that we are looking at is the American Federation of Aviculture, their own little booth and supplies and stuff that they had. So you can see they have all these cool t-shirts, some ties and things with really nice bird art on it. So you can kind of show off, you could purchase some of the fun clothing and show off your love for birds with what you are wearing. I know I do that quite a bit. Sometimes I look in my closet and I think probably 75% of what I own probably has a bird on it in some way. Whether I intended that to happen or not, it did. So, if you're like me and you like to wear bird things, you can go shopping while you're there and get some fun stuff with really, really nice art on it. If you're not the kind of person who likes to wear bird art, you can have it on mugs. So these were available as well for purchase, and you can again just see how cute a lot of the different artwork is. And you know, something that I think that's important to note with the American Federation of Aviculture, it has the word aviculture in it, right? So aviculture doesn't mean just parrots. I think a lot of times we really get parrot focused and think so much about how parrots are the main bird that people will keep, but they're not. You know, there's lots of other species that are out there as well. Aviculture, it includes pigeons, it includes chickens, it includes zoo birds, you know, like this turraco over here. So kind of neat to see that there's more than just parrots represented. They also have their little CITES pins, and you can see all the cute little birds that are on the different CITES pins. And I mean, a lot of these are not parrots. You know, here's that Andean cock of the rock, who is a bird that's in South America, not a parrot, not one that, you know, your average person has. It's something that is, if it's in an aviculture setting, it's more likely to be in a zoo. But all these birds that they're showing with the CITES pins, or these are some individual species that have a little bit more of a conservation interest, that are being represented with these pins. And then here's pictures of the Watchbird magazine that they have available. So again, if you become a member, you can gain access to getting their magazine every year. And this is the one for, you can see April, May of 24, just showing their 51st years that was kind of being commemorated in the conference. But again, just to notate the fact that parrots aren't the only thing that is of importance to the American Federation of Aviculture. This bird right here is a great blue turraco, sitting on one of its little babies. So again, a kind of a different species that we don't really see all that much. But they had a bunch of their Watchbird magazines from actually over the years, so you could kind of go back and get other articles if you're missing out on them, or there's a particular one that you wanted. Okay, so that was just the AFA's booth, kind of showing, representing just some of the things about what AFA is about. But then as we move along to other vendors, there were tons of other vendors in the building there, and like not in the on the other side, I would say, outside of the vendor hall, just a little bit down the way in the conference center was where the talks were actually happening. So people were able to come into the vendor hall between talks or during breaks, that sort of thing. Now, this particular group that was being represented, this is a group that's really focusing on the conservation of the blue-throat macaw out in the wild. So they, you can go to their website, it's birdendowment.org, and they are really working towards trying to support and the sustainability of the blue-throat macaw out in Bolivia. They have a couple of different programs, it sounds like, when I was perusing through the stuff that they had. And to be honest, I didn't know about this group. I like to learn about different avian conservation groups. I think avian conservation is really important and vital. And this was one I hadn't heard of, so it was kind of neat to get to know more about this one. But this particular group, they have the Laney Rickman Reserve in Bolivia, and it was on former cattle ranch land that was purchased and then supported by several different conservation groups, like including the American Bird Conservancy and IUCN groups, World Land Trust, those sort of guys sort of came together to have this amount of acreage to provide nesting boxes and habitat that was safe for the blue-throat macaw. And they also developed this nest box, which actually, I'm going to go to the next slide for that one, this sort of nest box sponsorship program. where you can actually, it's the Nido Adoptivo Nest Box campaign. And you can go to their website, you can use this QR code. I think the QR code probably should still work. So anybody watching this webinar now can probably use that QR code to go to their site if you wanted to learn more about the program. But you can donate to the nest boxes. You can donate. They also have the habitat restoration project that you can donate to. And here's just an example of some of the people who were actually at the AFA conference this year that decided to sign up to be Nestbox sponsors. Now this is projected out, this is for 2026 Nestbox sponsors. They already had a couple of people here, but then here's a lot of people that were saying, hey, we're going to be a part of this and be a sponsor. And looking back at their information, this group has fledged more than 100 chicks, which is really awesome. It's conservation at work, and actively making a difference out there in the wild, which is really nice to see. So I'm glad that they were there, and I'm glad I got to learn more about them, because if they wouldn't have been there, I wouldn't have gotten to know that this great group is out there and having some really good success. They even had this be a habitat hero thing. You could donate to them and you could get this really cool bag. I'm suspecting at this point now they don't have any more of these bags because it was sort of this limited edition bag. And I think probably all of these were gone at the conference would be my guess. I don't know. You can reach out to them if anybody does want this kind of cool looking bag with donating to their fund. But that's, one of the cool things that you can benefit from if you actually go to the conference is you get to meet these neat groups, and you can actively have a hand in helping with conservation and get a cool bag to show that you helped out. So as we moved further along, there were several really cool artists there as well. And so I took some pictures of the different artwork that these artists were, representing and showing to all of us. You could purchase the art. You can see the little price tags on things. This particular artist, you can see they not only work in parrots, they will do hummingbirds and other birds as well, but really some great work. And off to the side they had some jewelry, so for those people who enjoy jewelry, there was shopping for those individuals. So it's a little different, right? Like not all of this is bird stuff, it's just kind of unique jewelry in some ways. But like this one is actually, that looks like the what is it, the Nazca lines in Peru, the hummingbird, that you can see from, like, if you fly over, I think it's the Nazca lines. I might be saying the wrong thing, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But it's just, again, cool art that's representing birds and sort of our unique human love for birds. There's a little bit of a up close of this one particular art piece of a hummingbird that I thought was really nice. So this vendor was really neat because she had a variety of different art media that was bird centric and bird focused, but a little stuff that wasn't bird focused either. That was fun to see. We also had this artist. This artist, you can see his name right there, Gamini Ratnavira. I might be saying that wrong. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name. But really beautiful artwork that he was representing there. Here's those blue-headed macaws that I think it was last time that we did, or not last time, maybe the time before, 2 months ago, I think it was August, that we did the webinar on my trip to Peru and all the different species of birds that I saw. And that's one of the species that I got to see when I was out there. And here he is having a great representation of it in art that, again, you could purchase and have in your homes and be able to really see the beauty of these birds in a different way. And he really captures, I think, a lot of the personality of these birds as well with his artwork. So really nice to see all that represented. Oh,
I think he also did the cover for artwork for the conference. That's
yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about that. That's his artwork that he did there. So really nice. As we moved along throughout the hall there, you can see we also got into a lot of supplies for birds. So, it was nice because there was things for the humans, the art, the clothing, the jewelry, but then also we have all the supplies that we like for our birds that we have in captivity. You've got these really nice tree stands over here, and a variety of different types of tree stands, some really like smaller ones for maybe some smaller species, and then some larger, thicker ones for maybe like your macaws. Also all these like boings in the back and these different ropes and everything. Little tiny perches, look, is your choice. You could pick a variety of different types of perches here. And these prices are really very good. So it's certainly worth it from a bird ownership shopping standpoint, being able to get some supplies for your birds if you go to these conferences. Personally, I really like the tree stands. I'm a huge fan of them. I've got multiple tree stands for my own birds. You can see Maureen's hanging out with me today, and she's hanging out on a tree stand. So I really like those. I think they're nice for people to have in their homes, even having a few of them. I think I've probably got, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have like 5 right now in my house, maybe. So, but they blend in well, like as far as when my birds are not out and people who are not bird people come over, like, and most people don't ask about what they are. Like, I think they just look like some sort of plant that's just blending in with my other plants that I have in the house. So, they're functional, but also they just look good in a house. So that's my plug for purchasing tree stands. I like them. Just more representation of the different types of toys and things that they had available. This cute little parrot panini. I haven't seen a toy like that before, but it's just kind of folded over and there's like stuff hidden inside of there. Little chains and bells and things like that. All the typical toys that you're going to find at your local bird stores, or purchasing them online, wherever it is that you get your bird supplies from, was found here. And again, pretty good prices. So again, just another plug to go to the AFA. And seeing, there were multiple vendors too of the toys, but you could see some really fun toys. Like this one is a perch that's having nice colorful little like blocks and things, and it hangs. So my macaw really likes, she's got like a hanging perch in her cage that she's able to like swing with, and it's kind of similar to this one, and she loves that thing. And at first when I had it in there, I was like, I don't know how well she's going to like it because it moves and it's not that stable. But think about birds in the wild when they're selecting a branch to sit on. Like, maybe it's not always the most stable branch. Wind happens, right? And they kind of can get swayed around, but they'll just hang on to a perch. And so it is kind of nice to have these ones that may be a little bit more mobile inside of the cage, that they can choose to climb around on if they like. Big blocks for the bigger birds for chewing. These fun little like mesh sort of things folded on to themselves that have stuff stuffed inside, so the birds can pull little things out of. Variety of perches, and I really like these flat perches too. So there's just kind of over here in the corner, you can see flat perches. They work nicely for birds, a variety of different types of birds, but I tend to recommend flat perches for birds that have some sort of handicap. If we have birds who are missing digits or missing the full foot, or some birds with neurologic problems where maybe we don't want them perching on a regular perch because they could fall and hurt themselves in some way. Those platform perches can be kind of nice because birds like to naturally be kind of elevated and off the ground a little bit, and those things can get them to like a higher level in their environment, but have it be this nice broad base, so they can kind of rest a little bit easier without the risk of falling. So it was neat to see those there. Someone also brought some babies. So we got to see these cute little baby macaws, baby greenwings. I don't remember the exact age that they were. I forget at this point. Maybe they were closer to a couple of months, maybe 2.5 months, 3 months, somewhere around there. Yeah, but they were super cute, and it was, kind of good for the babies to get a little bit of exposure to seeing some, other people. And they were really good about trying to keep them, not stressed or anything like that. They weren't out for everybody to just be mingling around and, causing them any undue stress that they certainly don't need. But, they came out a little individually just to have a look around and see the activities themselves. Okay, there was more bird jewelry. And these were some things that I actually purchased because I thought they were really cool. This particular artist, this is Dawn. You could like Google search her stuff is bird jewelry by Dawn. And she just makes all these handmade clay pieces. But they're really detailed and they're really quite beautiful. And I just love this little green cheek conure ring. And then also this eclectus, although I bought this one for a friend of mine who had an eclectus parrot. So, just wanting to show her really great work. This is just a very, very, very limited representation of what she had available. She had tons and tons of these clay pieces, earrings, necklaces, rings, pins, that sort of stuff. And you can go online and purchase her stuff there. So,
And just a word of caution, right? You don't worry is with your bird, the bird on you. It's not their jewelry to play with. It's your jewelry to wear, right?
Exactly. This is jewelry for humans. This is not for birds. And it was kind of neat because I've actually purchased stuff from Bird Jewelry by Dawn online multiple times in the past, and I've never gotten to actually meet the artist. And I wasn't expecting to see her there at the AFA, but she was there, and so it was really awesome. So I went over to her booth and I was like, oh my gosh, like I've been buying your stuff online for like the last 10 or 15 years, I don't know. And now it's really neat to actually get to see you, and oh my gosh, you have way more cooler stuff than you know now. Like there's obviously really great stuff online, but there's even more stuff that's not even represented on there, that I was really happy I got to peruse. But I was talking to her and she said she, guarantees the quality of her work and everything. And if anything breaks, you can send it back to her. And I was like, oh, well, I had, I was wearing a piece that was a green cheek conure, actually a green cheek conure necklace that I had purchased online. I was wearing that at work, and an African gray bit its head off. And she was like, well, I can't guarantee the work against birds. And I'm like, that is fair. So birds will bite through this, no problem. Not recommended to wear it around your parrots if they like to chew things. So there were other parrot food companies there as well. The group HARI, or Hagen Aviculture Research Institute, was there representing some of their product. There was also Harrison's. You can see it back in the corner. Unfortunately, I didn't get a Harrison's a picture, so I apologize that I did not get them in represented. The other one too, I didn't get a picture of, was Vetifarm, but I have a picture of some of their like handouts and stuff later on that I'll show you guys. But a few of the food companies that were, representing their products and everything. Here's those bird bands that I was talking about. So through the American Federation of Aviculture, how they have their banding program that I was totally unaware of, but I am now aware of. I have seen birds with these bands, but I didn't realize that it was part of this program. So, learning moment for me there. But you can, purchase the bands for placement on young birds, babies that they can be slipped onto appropriately. There was also a raffle. So you have or not raffle, but the silent auction is what I should say. There was a silent auction going on, and there's just a variety of things that people had donated to the silent auction. And the way a lot of silent auctions will work is, the group will ask their members if they want to donate anything to the silent auction. People will donate things, and then it gets auctioned off, right? And then it goes to the highest bidder, of course, because that's what auctions are about. And then that money usually goes back to the group in some way, where it's going to probably be used for funding, the research that they will provide money for, since they do grants, small grants to different groups, and things like that. This is probably where they get their money. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm assuming that's the case, because that's usually what many little silent auctions are for, fundraising, so that it can go towards research or what have you. But they have all these old books, which is kind of fun to see. I like older books. So even though some of these books may have been published 20-30 years ago, it's still fun to look through them and peruse, a little bit of older bird history. What were people doing 20 years ago, 30 years ago, what have you. I'm sure some of you guys have some of these books in your homes. I have some of the books in my homes too, but I think they're always fun to look through, and it gives you kind of a sense of the times, of course, when they were published. Here is again some of the artwork from Gamini. Again, I don't want to butcher his last name, but the individual who was one of the artists that did the artwork for this year's conference. And there was some raffling off of these little nice tiles that you could, have in your home. And here's a picture of you, Laura.
Oh.
So Lafeber's was there at the conference representing the company, and Laura was given this nice little plaque from the American Federation of Aviculture, just saying thank you, and there you are posing with it.
Yes, and it was gorgeous. That little plaque is amazing. And I was just thinking, if you had a cockatiel, like a male cockatiel, he would especially like a bird like that, because it's mirrored, so you can see a reflection in it. So it's a beautiful little plate. The picture, I hope, does it honest, because it really is a gorgeous thing that they gave us. So
nice. That's funny. I didn't think about the cockatiel, but you're totally right. A little male cockatiel would totally love this.
Yeah. Whenever anything with mirrors, I just think of that.
Right. Now, just to kind of show you guys the Lafeber's booth. The Lafeber's booth was where me and Laura were hanging out, and you can see all their great little banners. And when I go to the veterinary conferences, and I'm used to seeing this because Lafeber's always represents at all of the veterinary conferences, and they are just representing the product that's available, the NutriBerries and Ave cakes and all that sort of stuff, and then sort of featuring some of the new stuff, the chicken product that Lafeber's has recently come out, giving away free samples to people, product catalogs, and just information for anybody who wanted more knowledge about it. And there we are. The picture, unfortunately, when it blew up, it came out a little bit pixelated. So I apologize about that. But there we are hanging out together. So proof that we were actually in the same room.
Yes. Oh, and did we talk about the chicken yet? Because the chicken, that was a common question, and what the chicken's name was, and we didn't have an answer.
Yes, we're getting into the chicken, I think. There we are. There's our chicken. So that cute little stuffed chicken that Laura was holding in the last picture was just a nice little representative of Lafeber's. He didn't have a name. We never came up with a name for this little guy.
We'll have to open for suggestions, right?
Yes, anybody who wants to name this cute little chicken, just let us know. But he is representing Lafeber's line of new product, the booster berries, which is a chicken specific product. They have 3 different types of booster berries. They have the Radiate, the Senior, and the Enrich product. So the nice thing about chickens, I will say, is that when it comes to knowing the nutritional needs of different avian species, if there is one species we know good data about, it is the chicken. And so Lafeber's has started to produce a chicken diet. They advertise it as a supplement, but in reality, it could be used as a diet too. I've used it for my chicken. I currently just have one chicken, my chicken Artemis. And she's a little older. She's 8 years old at this point. And so I use the Senior booster berry for her. And I mean, the base diet is a good basic diet for chickens, but then the different products actually have different things added to them to be supportive of whatever it is. So for example, the Senior supplement, that one has things that support joint health. So it's got, glucosamine and chondroitin in there, which is important for maintaining joint health. It also has echinacea, which is something that is helpful for the immune system. And as any animal, we want to have good immune support, but as animals age, the immune system maybe doesn't function as well as it did in prior years. And so having some immune support can be really nice. So that echinacea added is a benefit. Milk thistle is also added to it. Milk thistle is great for the liver, and we do see liver problems as birds get older. It's not uncommon. I mean, not every bird out there is going to have liver problems. I'm not saying that. It's just that it is one of the more common ailments that may come about as birds age. So having that in their Senior supplement is really nice. There's a few other things in there. I won't get into all of it because we're going to talk about chickens another time, and I can talk about it in more detail then. But then like the Enrich one, also the Enrich one's meant for like laying birds, and so that also has echinacea to support that immune system and their health. The feather supplement one, that one has a little bit higher protein when you are going through molting and needing to get your new healthy feathers in. You need typically a little bit more protein, vitamin A, that sort of stuff. And so it's got like pumpkin seeds inside of there. So for just a little additional protein support. So all good stuff inside of the new Lafeber's products. Oh yeah, I forgot I put that one, but we're gonna skip over that because we're gonna go over that another time. So some people may wonder what it's like to be at the conference as a vendor, and here's a behind the scenes view. So this is literally behind the items at the Lafeber's booth, since I was hanging out there with Laura. So
That's Katie. That's a picture. Katie, I knew back from my bird talk days. Katie Secor, she used to like some of our small bird articles. So it was kind of like a reunion of sorts for other, like I just kept running to people I knew. It was so fun. Yeah.
It was pretty neat to see you knew several people and got to talk about different experiences in the past and everything. So that was pretty neat, getting to see everybody. Further evidence of what it is like behind the scenes at the Lafeber's booth. So when I was sitting down, I could read all the packaging on the back of the Lafeber's. But the reason I put this picture up here was because I thought it was funny, is because there's some of the human version of Nutriberries behind the scenes of the Lafeber's booth. That's what we were joking about anyway. It's the Cracker Jack snack.
Those, I tried to offer those to you, but you refused to take them. So then I had to take them in, and yeah, they had them as snacks for the humans, and I was like, oh, it's like our human Nutriberry, except not as healthy. Not nearly. That's not a full diet there.
So not a complete diet for the human. There's your son. I put his photo in because I wanted to make sure he was recognized, because he had come and helped out a ton with setting up the booth, right?
He actually did set up the booth. Full disclosure, he did. He grew up with birds, so he was so excited to be there himself. Like he got to come into my full circle of my a little bit of our bird world here. He enjoyed it tremendously.
So a little bit of different bonding with your son, right?
Exactly. Yes, for sure.
Nice. All right. Oh, I wanted to show this guy too, just a different angle of the Lafeber's booth. But this guy, this blue and gold macaw that has all this like fuzzy stuff on him. When I first got there, I was like, why does this blue and gold macaw have this weird fuzzy hair on it? And then I realized it's because he was placed next to the senior bird nutriberries. And so he was trying to represent senior birds with his white fuzzy hair and his white fuzzy beard.
Yes, he's a little tattered, but I couldn't figure that out first either until like I put the connection together.
Yeah, it's really cute. Once I got it, I was like, oh, I get it. That makes sense. But just, a slight tangent about the senior bird nutriberries. I really like those as well. The senior bird nutriberries are kind of like what I was talking about with the senior bird booster berries. They are the standard, like the standard nutriberry is sort of the base, but then there's other stuff added to it that may be a little bit more helpful for birds as they age. And it's got like ginger in there. I think it also has milk thistle. So just some nutritional supplements that can be helpful for birds as they age. I know we've talked about it, I think, in previous webinars, so I won't go too much into it, but just to say that if you have a bird who is an older parrot, those senior bird nutriberries can be kind of nice for them. And I also think they're even nice for some birds not seniors. I honestly, because of the fact that they have the ginger in there, and that's a sort of a nutraceutical thing that we know can be helpful for like cardiac health. I think it's kind of nice sometimes to give it to certain species who are maybe more prone to cardiovascular disease, and we're seeing more and more cardiovascular disease in birds as they age. It's something that's just could provide a little extra support. Like Maureen, she is a little older. I mean, the definition of senior, I feel like, is variable. So some might call her a senior. I don't feel like she's a senior. She's 33. Yeah, she's 33 at this point. But like they can be really nice for her in that regard. But because also she's an African gray, and we see more atherosclerosis in the African grays or the Amazons, the cockatiels, the Quaker parrots, some of this maybe earlier in life might not be such a bad idea. I think it's certainly something to consider, having those little additional nutritional supplements that can be helpful. Oh, there he is.
A question about that. So
Yeah.
I was curious, when you feed nutriberries to your flock, because we got different flavors and varieties, do you stick to one variety at a time, or like do you put in like one senior nutriberry, one El Paso flavor? Like do you put in like let's say you're gonna feed like 4 nutriberries, do you mix them up or do you keep to the same flavor?
I guess I guess I keep to the same flavor, but I think that's just because I'm opening up the bag.
Yeah, I was curious to know if because I recently started mixing my flavors. I was just curious to see if it but I was wondering if you put like this, like, like the strawberry nutriberries with the Texas El Paso, like, which are spicier, if that kind of gives your bird like, whoa, this is like a weird combination. But I was just thinking if you threw in like a senior bird nutriberry in the mix, right? So they're getting some of that as well as if they're on the young side. But just curious.
I feed my, like Arroyo, he's only 10 years old, but I feed him the senior bird nutriberries intermittently because he's a bird, that he's a species that is predisposed, or is known, I shouldn't say predisposed, is known to be at a higher risk for atherosclerosis. And that ginger that's in there, I think, is really helpful. There's antioxidants as well inside of the plum that's in there, the dates that are in there. And so I think it's probably kind of a nice little additional beneficial thing. It's certainly not going to hurt. So, but maybe we need to do like a bird tasting pairing nutriberry event.
Yes, and I was just curious, people, what our viewers are saying, if they feed like one flavor, they stick to one flavor every day, like do they go through a whole bag of flavors or they mix it up? It's kind of fun to see. Yeah, I just thought of that when you're thinking of that, when you're saying the senior bird nutriberries. I was like, maybe like, like 2 classic nutriberries and then throw in a senior bird one. So they're kind of like getting a mix.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
There we go.
Oh, and here's some photos in front of the Lafeber's booth with some of our viewers. I don't know if either of these individuals are on today, but shout out to you if you are. And if you're not on today, then maybe, you know, you can go back and view this and be surprised you got on the webinar.
Super
So
nice people in person too. I mean, it's so great to meet our viewers in person. They're so enthusiastic and just it was just an honor to meet people that we share our Fridays with sometimes. So.
I agree. It was really nice. So we get to do this again in the future. I hope we get more people coming out and visiting, because it is really nice to we have this little community, and it's nice to be able to see people in person. Also, there was this gigantic parrot thing. I feel like this picture doesn't really do it justice how big this object was. I don't think this was for sale. I think this was just like a fun thing that was there. I don't know, some sort of decoration, you know, but you can see the cage that's next to it. And this was a big cage. Like, this cage was probably, I don't know, maybe a 5-foot tall cage. And of course, you know, the picture can play tricks with your eyes, but it was big. So here it was like looped together, like these two scarlet macaws were hanging out on their little individual perches, talking to one another. So kind of a really neat piece. I think it was just for fun. It was
Actually, I think
just
it was one of
decoration.
it might have been one of the giveaway, the raffle
Was
giveaway.
it?
Yeah, later. And I was like, you would definitely need a truck, like a open bed truck to transport these, because they were massive. They were like something that you would almost like walk through, like if you're going to like a reception, you know, like people like,
Yeah.
yes, super big. But I think they were giving as a raffle giveaway.
Really? Well, that was fun for whoever got them. I wonder what they did with them. I wouldn't know where to put this. I don't think I could fit this in my house. It was that tall. It'd have to like sit outside in my front yard, and then everybody would further know that I was the bird lady on the street.
That would shout it out to your neighbors for sure. Yeah.
Some of just the things that were given away. So like, what I also wasn't expecting, that, you know, it happens at the veterinary conferences, but again, since I haven't really been to a non-veterinary conference, this is, I think, my first one that was not a veterinary conference, you'll often get little gift bags, and I just wasn't expecting that. So when I went up to the registration booth and I said who I was, they gave me my little gift bag, and inside of that gift bag, they had tons of little giveaway things. Some of it is just, you know, product from or product guides, things from the different vendors that were there. So like I had mentioned, you know, Harrison's Bird Food was there. This was something from Harrison's Bird Food, Veta Farm. They're a food company out of Australia, the hairy people. I had gotten from you guys gave me the Lafeber's bird vitamins. There were little like cuddle bones and stuff in the bag. So it was really kind of nice to get all this, you know, materials from the different vendors and learn a little bit more about like the individual products, and have some products for sampling for my own birds. In fact, these banquet cuddle bones, Maureen like went to town on the banana flavored one. I put it in the cage, and like, oh my god, she just totally destroyed it. And it did smell a little banana like, but she really enjoyed it. I didn't think she was going to enjoy it that much. I don't usually use cuddle bone with her, but she loved it. So all right, so that was kind of the end of the pictures and everything I wanted to show you. But what I also wanted to just briefly touch on, I didn't take any pictures of it, was the lectures that were going on. So, you know, again, you're there, you're seeing the vendors, you're part of the American Federation of Aviculture, learning more about what they do, but they have all of these speakers come in, and the speakers talk about different things. So the reason that I was there is because I was speaking on chickens. So they asked me to come talk about chickens, and I talked about you know, health problems that we see in chickens. But it was kind of funny because I think I was the only chicken specific person there. And then when I was standing at the Lafeber's booth. I also was kind of positioned in front of that stuffed animal chicken and in front of the booster berries. And one of the attendees came up and was like, "So you're the chicken lady, huh?" So I got deemed the chicken lady or person, I don't know. But then I came to work today, and one of the nurses here at work handed me a little gift, and she gave me this great chicken bag.
That is the best bag I've ever, oh my gosh.
And I was like, well, that's funny, because I'm talking today about the AFA on Lafeber's webinar, and we're going to talk about how I was the chicken lady, and you just further confirmed that I am I've been dubbed the chicken lady with now my crazy chicken purse.
Oh, I love it. I love it. If you know what kind of chicken the purse is, then we know you're real chicken lady.
You know,
Is it a bantam? What is it?
it's not a bantam because it's too big to be a bantam. So I'm gonna say it's a Rhode Island red because of how red it is.
It's gorgeous.
So yeah. So I hope that that gains a little interest for other people, and about the AFA, and attending conferences like this. It was really fun, and I hope other people want to go next year. So now that we have just a little bit of time left, I wanted to open it up to any questions that anybody has.
Oh, you know what? Actually, we have a question on where will it be next year, and that is a good question. I'm not sure if they announced it yet. Let's see.
Stop sharing there. Yeah, I don't think they said anything when we left.
Yeah, but it's usually, if I'm not mistaken, around the same time of year, like in the end of summer or beginning of fall.
Yeah, and I mean, people can go to the AFA website. It's just I actually have it pulled up here on my computer, which I can go back to sharing. Here, let me go back to sharing, and I can just kind of show people the website, and then that way they know. So here it is. This is the AFA website. I can just go to the home screen. Oh, hopefully that's coming up okay for you guys. It's afabirds.org is the American Federation of Aviculture's website. And so, oh, and actually, look, if you missed our conference, here is a chance to view the talks. If you already signed up, simply sign in to watch the presentation. Oh, okay. So this, but I, they were recording it, and I knew they said the talks were going to be available, but I didn't even think about it that people could probably retrospectively go back and watch the talks. So, yeah, I mean, I guess for any of the viewers here, if they're interested and want to go, see some of those talks, they can go join online and go and watch. I don't see anything yet about next year's conference on here. I'm not too sure the time of year of when they decide of where they're going to be the following year. But it does sound like it's something that they jump around between different cities. So
yeah, just to give you a snippet of that, like, so this last time around it was in Costa Mesa, California. In 2023, it was in Dallas, Texas, and then 2022 is in Virginia. In 2021, it was in Minnesota. So yeah, it does hop around. So hopefully it can hit people's areas. I mean, it's nice. Yeah. Yeah, and so the other thing, so you have such a busy schedule, like that you literally like flew in and flew out to give the talk on the chickens, which was so nice. And in that a day that you were there, you packed in so much. You visited all the vendors, you gave a talk. I mean, you helped out, like you were representing Lafeber at the booth. It was amazing. They had a blues bash on the Friday night, and that was for the Laney Laney Rickman, the Save the Blues. And so they had like an auction, a silent auction there where they were raising money for those nest boxes for the blue-throated macaws, which is yeah, it was pretty neat. They had like a pretty good attendance of people there heading into the Saturday, the Friday night before you flew in. So there's lots.
Yeah. I literally flew in for just one day of it, and it was, yeah, as you said, there's more days to it. I was only there one day. I had to work the day before and the day after, so I
amazing.
couldn't stay for longer.
Yeah. That was absolutely amazing. Yeah. I mean, that was, and you gave a really good talk. Like I mean, like the audience was captivated, and you got to think that they're probably there more like not expecting more chicken information like for parrots, and there's a lot of good takeaways like from your talk too, even if you didn't have chickens. Like there was so much to learn, and it was fascinating. Like you always give like the best PowerPoint presentations anyway, so I know a lot of people appreciated that. People were coming in that and I think you had some people, they're like, oh, I'm gonna check out this chicken talk, and then like they're staying because like this is a really good chicken talk.
Well, I'm glad to hear that people liked it and everything, but yeah, I mean, it was something different as well, right? So like, again, it seems sometimes like when we talk about birds, we're mostly parrot focused. But again, aviculture is all different types of birds. It's not just parrots. So it's kind of nice, I think, for people to have something not parrot focused, which I guess is a plug for one of our future webinars. I think it's December that we have planned to do a parrots and chickens webinar is what I was going to do. And I was actually going to speak about some of the topics that I discussed at the AFA regarding chicken health, but then also like tying it back to like people who have parrots and chickens, because you know a lot of my clients have both. I have some clients that are just parrot people. I have some clients that are just chicken people or just duck people or whatever. But there's a lot of clients that I have that they've got some chickens and they've also got some parrots, and they love them both equally. And there's some concerns sometimes about mixing parrots and chickens together regarding health because of potential for disease transmission. So that's something I think we're going to hit on a little bit more. Again, I think it's the December talk. I believe that's what we had decided on for that one. So
Oh, that'd be a good one. Because chickens are, I mean, they're becoming, it just seems like increasing in popularity, like backyard hobbies, like chickens. Do some of your clients, do they keep their chickens inside? Is it mostly, is there a like
mix? Some people keep them strictly indoors. Some people keep them strictly outside. Some of them indoor, outdoor. I mean, my chicken, she's indoor, outdoor. So like right now that I'm at work, she's outside. But when I'm home, if she's not sleeping, then she comes inside and she hangs out with us. So, it's just depends on the day.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that'd be a fascinating talk. And the booster berries, I mean, they're a huge hit. Like that was one of the big winners at one of the recent, I think, pet product show. Was it the one in Vegas that they just had?
Oh, okay.
Was it? Yeah. I know that they're I mean the chicken beer, they're a dedicated community of pet stewards. So
Yeah, I really like the booster berries for the chickens. I really like the additional supplements that are in there for various health reasons. And it's also, it gives chickens something to forage on. Chickens love to forage just as much as parrots want to forage on things. And so again, that NutriBerry, it's something more interesting to interact with because of the different textures and everything, and they can you can break it apart for them, or they have to sit there and like peck at it to break it apart. And just the same way we worry about, we want to have enrichment for parrots, we want to have that for our chickens, because it can be boring sitting outside.
well, just as I was about to maybe like pop in a booster berry at the booth because I had them in the bags, I looked back at the poster behind me. I was like, oh, it's got larvae in it. Maybe
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it'd be fine to eat, but I would be a little bit, got
right.
some.
It's got black soldier fly larvae, and those are actually a good source of calcium. And I will say, I have, like, when I got the booster berries from you guys and I was trying them out with my chicken, my parrots, we were in the backyard and my chicken was out there and my parrots were out there too. And they saw me giving the booster berry to my chicken and they were like, where's ours? And so I was like, okay, you can have some. So I gave them each a booster berry, and yeah, there's larvae in there, but it's okay, just a little bit is fine. And they all liked it just fine, no problems.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, some people do feed like the dried meal or to like I mean, is the bugs have a place in parrot diet sometimes, right?
Yeah, like particularly with your cockatoos, the cockatoos are, they do eat a little bit of bugs, you know, so it's not a major part of the diet, but it is a part of the diet. So it's okay if they have a little bit of that.
There you go. We can add a chicken booster bear, a booster berry to the mix of the mix that we're talking about earlier, the different things put in the bowl. All right. Well, that was, again, it was such it was super fun. I really enjoyed, I hadn't been to AFA in years, not since my bird talk days. And so it was like, it was great to be there. And it was even more so 100 times better because I got to meet you in person and some of our viewers in person. So that was a real treat.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. All right. So I got to give away, I got to announce our giveaway winner for today. And that is going to be going out to Shauna Roberts. You are the pumpkin spice Nutriberry winner today. So we're saying that out to you as well as another Lafeber product of your bird's choice. And I hope that makes your weekend. We're already well into October. So this is certainly pumpkin spice time of the year, right? So.
Yeah.
So get yours while they can, because I think they're only available until November, end of November. And we're already in October. So there you go. Oh, by the way, I did cute video of you and Aurora with the pumpkin spice Nutriberries. You gotta go on Lafeber's Instagram to catch the video. It's a very, very cute one. I love the videos.
Great.
And then let's see, next Friday, we're going to be on, let's see, does this topic, okay, do I have a problem parrot? That's going to be with Pamela Clark. Pamela Clark will be back on with us on another episode of Translating Parrot, Behavior Misconceptions and Do I Have a Problem Parrot? So come join us and check out that topic next Friday. In the meantime, all right, guys, everyone have a great weekend. All the best to you and your flock. Stay safe. Until next time. Thanks again, Dr. Lamb. Great to have you. Great to see you.
Bye.